I have been told I have to react to Ben Shapiro debating a trans man. Apparently this gets very heated. All right. Okay. Oh,
wow, okay, we're gonna take this chair.
Dominance.
Look at that.
Hey, Ben.
Like a bro, my friend. All right.
How's it going?
Like a bro, indeed. Emphasis on the like. Okay.
Let's break open.
So, first question: Can men get pregnant?
Men cannot
No.
get pregnant.
No.
Awesome. So,
Definitionally.
definitionally, okay.
I legit thought he was about to lift his shirt and have like a pregnant belly and be like, I can't get pregnant, Ben. That unfortunately did not happen, but that would have been interesting.
Do men experience SA,
Yes.
sexual assault?
Sure.
Got it. What about the existence of trans men?
What about it?
What about the existence? Do you mean women who believe that they are men? What are we talking about here? Women experiencing gender dysphoria?
So, my other question is: do you benefit from white supremacy in any way, shape, or form?
I'm going to need more specifics on what you mean by white
Well, here, let me
supremacy.
give it to you then.
Sure, please.
So, I'm a transgender man.
Okay.
I've experienced SA.
Okay.
And abortion rights affect me directly. So, if we're talking about the American dream that you live, why don't I have access to that? Because there's
How much more of an American dream could you get than being born in a female body and transitioning to be a man? What more of an American dream do you possibly need, my dude?
no legislation, in the history of America, that legislates a man's body, so why does mine have to be legislated?
The draft. Moving on.
I've got a vagina.
I'm not interested in what your genitalia are.
Clearly you are. I mean, it's all over
my
everything
God.
you make, buddy. I'm sorry. I hate to say it to you, but
I think you can read on my
kind of an
face that I
obsession
radically
you
am
guys
not.
have.
I think you can read on my face that I radically am not. When we're talking about
No,
abortion,
I don't. I mean, you can present it here, but in most of the content that you have, you attack my community constantly. And you don't even realize guys like me
your
exist,
community.
who actually share a lot of similarities to you and everything, because I'm a married man of 20 years.
I've
got
I
a wife.
recognize that you exist. I disagree with your
Right,
claim
so
that you
if
are a
I
male.
was sexually assaulted, right, and I didn't have access to that abortion care, do you believe that I should have carried that child to term because
What does
I was
this have to-
sexually assaulted?
I mean,
No, I just want to make sure that that's what you believe. Because as a transgender man, I have seen your side of the entire political debate, never ever having the conversation of what an American freedom is. Because why am I not allowed to live my American freedom as a man? You know, I mean, you get your
as a
choice
man,
as a man.
you're-
I don't need to re-express what I've already said, but oh my goodness, and I recognize this guy, but we'll get into that in just a moment.
You're
free and all that.
really moving around terminology very wildly here,
And so are you, because that's the tactics you play in your game.
I'm
And
gonna
you've
need
done
you-
it the entire time.
I'm
You've
gonna-
jumped from one subject to the next. You speak so fast, and I know how you work. So how does it feel to have it in your face?
Wow, it's so interesting because they feel like they're eating right now. They're like, I'm gonna really get Ben Shapiro. I'm so much smarter than him. Trust, you are not. And everybody that's surrounding him, they're acting like middle schoolers. And I don't know how they don't recognize that they lack emotional regulation, but it's very clear. Ben is staring and staying very calm. He's talking to them very respectfully. He's not doing any ad hominem attacks on any of them at this point. And still, they're like barking at him. And this guy is extremely aggressive. But one thing I'll tell you, there's nothing more like feminine than this like faux male posturing that is happening right now. To like go and stand up and flip the chair around and sit on it like you're like some big dude is honestly a pretty feminine thing to go forward and do, but y'all are not ready for that conversation.
Oh, well, I mean,
Because I'm sick and tired of the shit that you have put against my community, especially black trans women. Because you constantly disregard all of our needs and then use us politically as a pawn when we're 1% of the population. Why not focus on the economy itself? All of us are struggling, and you want to focus on trans people. You want to focus on a black woman when this is clearly a glass cliff situation. America's falling apart, and let's give it to a woman right when it's all falling apart, when we'd had, what, 50 men run it and it looks like shit? Look at where we're at.
Oh gosh, the lack of logic is astounding, and it actually speaks to this person's current identity. I've got to say it.
Surely,
So-
where do you think that we're heading? I mean, it's so funny to watch
You've
like
been going
white
for-
supremacy just fall apart the way that it is, and you ride so hard because guess what? In other countries around the world, women are not having children, and why is it? Because of the patriarchy and all the violence that men perpetuate, and all of this idea that abortion is somehow going to solve it all by forcing women to have abortion instead of focusing on the real problems that we're facing in our society. We're just going to completely ignore that, and we're just going to go, you know what? The line item is, let's make women have babies so that we can continue this capitalistic society that we have. Why are we doing that? What? I mean, why? Because you want to push white supremacy and because you want to make your check? It does great for you. Meanwhile, people like me have to live with the consequences of all of your rhetoric that you put on a daily basis, and including my
Soon as he goes to speak, he has to speak over him. There's so much insecurity baked into this rant that this guy's putting on, or a woman, should I say, that you can't even allow a little bit of airtime for him to respond to you because you know you're not going to like what is said, and you know that you don't have much grounds for the things that you're saying. It's really, really wild. Super unhinged, but again, speaks to the current identity that this person is living with.
Entire community, and the intersectionalities of Black women, men that experience SA, trans people, everyone that comes in. And I'm so sick of the idea that you can come in with this bravado, that you're this big guy that knows things because you can talk fast, you have statistics.
Did he come in with this bravado? Did he mean to say vibrato? I don't, like, what is he trying to say? I don't, first of all, and who came in like a big guy who knows everything? You did when you came in and you picked the chair up and flipped it around. I'm seeing a lot of projecting in this whole speech that we're getting right now, and somebody needs to just hold a mirror up to this individual. Ben should say nothing. Just hold up a mirror.
Statistics, but really, what does it really matter at the end of the day if you are harming the entire American? This guy's been accused of rape, Trump, in like court documents, and you're backing the guy.
Because an accusation is a reflection of reality. You know that Joe Biden has also been accused of sexual assault. So what do you have to say about that? He's your current sitting president. I imagine that most of the people in this room supported Joe Biden. What's going to happen there? We're also hearing some, alleged stories of Kamala Harris and Diddy parties. So what are you going to have to say about that when we start having the real conversation?
Like, you have children. How could you do that to your own? Don't you have a daughter? Like, what is wrong with you, dude?
Don't you have a daughter?
I've never seen such a party just completely like the American idea, what we believe in as a country, is not what you're perpetuating. It's diversity. It's giving you tired, hungry, and poor. The Google phone you have in your pocket is because of all of the diversity we've had.
Pause.
Bye.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, you dick. Holds out the hand and walks away. And still, we have not seen even a minuscule example of any disrespect whatsoever from Ben Shapiro to any of these people. They don't have any ideas that they want to bring forward to him that he can actually contend with. They just want to tell him that they hate what he stands for. And this person is dealing with a whole lot internally. They've got their own journey to go on, and it seems like they're projecting a lot of what they're dealing with internally on to Ben Shapiro. But again, no argument was made. There's nothing to really go back and forth on because you didn't even allow him the time to speak to you. You wanted to take this moment to crush him, to bulldoze him, and I'm gonna state it again, in a very feminine way. Like, if I asked a woman to pretend to be a man with, the little access that we have to the male brain and what men are experiencing, that's exactly the kind of theater that would be produced. And we all watched it there. So, I mean, I don't even know where to begin or end with what I just watched.